Hi, this is John here. So today we're gonna start lecture 4 today. So we're gonna do an introduction today. So let's get started. So introduction, how to structure introduction. And today's to-do list, we're gonna define an introduction and see what it looks like. And we also learn how to structure it. As we mentioned, as we talked about in the previous meetings, lectures, the thesis is part of introduction. It's one of the most critical elements in introduction. We did talk about the thesis in the previous lecture. Today we're gonna talk more about the other elements, just the more macro concept of introduction here. Introduction is a group of sentences that come together in one paragraph to describe what your essay will be about. It's one paragraph typically, and it has, of course, many elements. This is one of them. Anywhere from 5 to 7 sentences is acceptable. A paragraph that makes your readers want to read more. That's why it's introduction. Your job as a writer to make sure that the readers want to continue to read your paper. It's a map of your essay as well. What does it look like? Let's check out this sample introduction paragraph here. So I'm going to read this out loud. Can you picture a device with the power to age your 5 years in one day? We are not talking about a time machine, but rather a cell phone. When adolescents, children ages to 10 to 11 years old, own their own cell phones, they often experience periods of extreme growth. They learn how to walk to school on their own using their GPS. Many adolescents even often spend longer periods away from home but out with their friends, as they can now communicate with their parents where they are at all times. As a result, adolescents who have cell phones are more independent than those who do not have them. That's the introduction paragraph. So let's break it down. Every introduction paragraph, like just one we saw, has to have a few important ingredients. First, we need a hook. This is the first sentence of the introduction paragraph that tries to grab the reader's attention or hook them in. So very first thing that we need in the introduction is the hook or grabber. Background details. These can be anywhere from 3 to 5 sentences that describe what kind of arguments your essay will make. After hook, what we need is a background details. After background details, we need a thesis. The thesis is the last sentence in your essay that lets the readers know what your essay is about, and most importantly, what your opinion is. Again, the thesis is the most important, most critical piece of information we need in the introduction, after hook and background details. So using this example that I just read aloud, we're gonna try to identify, pinpoint these hook, element details, and thesis. So let's identify hook first. Hook is usually the very first sentence of the introduction. So can you picture a device with the power to age you 5 years in one day? We are not talking about a time machine, but rather a cell phone. So the one in red, that's the hook of this hook in this introduction. Then I'm gonna go back here. We need a background details, right? So background details are the ones that are in blue highlight here. So when adolescents, children ages to 10 to 11 years old, own their own cell phones, they often experience periods of extreme growth. They learn how to walk to school on their own using their GPS. Many adolescents even often spend longer periods away from home, out with their friends, as they can now communicate with their parents where they are at all times. So the blue ones are the details. These details are here to make sure the readers get a little bit more information about the topic, about the paper, before the body paragraph jumps in. Going back to the previous slide, we have thesis here. Thesis is the one in green, so the last sentence of the introduction. Again, this whole paragraph is called introduction. We cover hook, which highlighted in red. Then we have blue, background details. Now we have thesis, which goes, as a result, adolescents who have cell phones are more independent than those who do not have them. Again, it's a one sentence, very impactful, the main summary of your paper. That's what's called a thesis. Alright, so remember, when you're writing your introduction, it helps to work backwards. This means you will first write your thesis. If you don't know what your opinion is, how do you know what your essay will be about, for example? So you can often go backwards and try to write your own thesis first. Then go back, think about three main arguments you want to make to prove that your opinion is right. Now use your imagination, come up with the creative hook that will make your readers excited about your essay. Lastly, write it all down, beginning with your hook and ending with your thesis. Just remember these few points to make sure your introduction is compelling and also persuasive. Right, so today we cover lecture 4 about introduction. So hope you guys enjoyed, and hope the today's lecture has been helpful. So I'll see you guys later. Cheers.